Hi guys, my name is Ben
And I'm Nathan.
and welcome back to the Pride of Villa. We're here for another post-match review of Aston Villa vs Newcastle United on 24th of June 2020. We're going to be going through some of our thoughts to the game, giving you some of our player ratings, going through any other things we'd like to discuss, and then giving you a little sneak peek into Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday. So if you all enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, check out fatalgroups.com, use the discount code PRIDAVILLA, you'll gain 10% off. You already know it, but without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. Nathan, Aston Villa 1, Newcastle 1, or actually I should say Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 1. As we say in our post-match reaction yesterday, disappointing draw, but it does feel like a loss. What are your thoughts a day later, essentially?
Well, I'm going to just think about the positives.
What positives?
I know, it seems like a far off that we could actually stay up, but there is still a chance. There is still a chance in this. Think about it. We've got Wolves. If we play the formation right, and if we play up to standards, like we did in the Carabao Cup, we could at least get a point from it.
Yeah.
So that's one way of trying to get up again. We've got obviously Liverpool, just won't get anything from that. Everton, there's a small chance, but likely not going to win. Arsenal, maybe. Crystal Palace, that has to be a win, I'd say. It just has to be.
Yeah.
West Ham too. But that game, to sum it up, it was just... It's like, they do remind me of like a championship team. And there was points in it, they were really good, and points in it, we were really good. But I don't think anyone deserved to win, to be honest. But
yeah,
didn't even get a win from it. It's just so bad.
I think it's a game of two halves, really. First half, we were the much better team. However, second half, the game turned on its head. You know, we were just so much poorer than Newcastle, and it showed in the goal we conceded. And even though we got the goal back, as we said, it does feel a lot like a loss rather than a draw, because really it just doesn't do anything for us. We're just level on points with West Ham and Bournemouth now. So that if fate had it be, it clearly suggests to me that this may come down to the final game of the season against West Ham, and I'm really hoping it's not. Let's go into some of those notes that you've made. So let's talk about that first half a little bit more.
Right, so first half, I've started out with we're looking better than Chelsea, at least.
Yeah.
We looked a little bit better. Now defence was still crap. Nothing really good to say about it. Nothing good to say about, creativity. It's like we're passing balls and not really knowing where the ball's going. Like, a lot of the chances we just did not take properly. Or with Grealish, he had the ball once, and he literally just kicked it to what's his name, Gale, I think. I don't know, Gale, but it's just stupid mistakes like that. It does cost us the game, but that first half and then the second half, they're just both crap, man. This shouldn't have happened.
I think first half we did look a little bit more lively, a little bit more energetic than the previous two games. We did definitely have some chances, but ultimately nothing really that would suggest we're going to score the goal. It just looked a bit more refreshing to see, a bit more creative in the midfield and going throughout the pitch. Decent first half. And then you go into the second half, whatever Dean Smith tells them in that second half just completely goes to disarray. We're going into it looking very sloppy, very poor, as if we're a bit too tired now. But for me, the moment the game changed was the brilliant pass that St. Maximin makes to the outside winger, skipping it past Target, and I think it was House. A beautiful pass there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the goal from it. But I think that's where the game turned. What do you think?
So, I think tactically, Newcastle were way better.
Yeah.
There was that point where I forgot his name. He just did sort of like a twist round of our players. It's just like all I'm thinking about is, she's just taking the piss out of us. So,
Yeah. I think tactically, Dean Smith was completely wrong. It felt definitely like he was trying to forget about playing football and just punt the ball forward. But when you're playing with a 4-3-3, and as we've said multiple times, this Twitter was screaming out for yesterday. Playing that formation means the striker is so isolated, so alone. And so to punt that ball forward, not only does he have to control the ball from insurmountable heights. He's what's he then supposed to work on? Because we've got two wider players that are out of position or just nowhere near in time for our striker to pass it off to somebody, and it's very frustrating. And then we move into about 63 minutes in, obviously, as something that we said last time with Chelsea and something that kept reappearing in this game, players were constantly out of position, and it showed here. All of our defensive line was pushed over to the right and trying to mark one or two players, I believe. I think it was just one. I think it was St. Maximan. He's able to get a ball through to Dwight Gay, who's just come on the pitch. And the only player that's able to mark him is Konza. So not only does he have to come over from the right to do the job that Mings left, which Dean Smith said it was all Konza's fault. It was not, you moron.
It wasn't. It
was
wasn't.
It was Mings and House, both out. All of them out of position. The whole defensive line is over to the right. So not only is Dwight Gale through, but that means there's a completely open space for the left-hand side for Newcastle to just come in and whip in an easy ball and get the goal there. But Dwight Gale's able to capitalise on the opportunity and make it 1-0 to Newcastle. Absolutely infuriating to watch their poor defensive. You knew it was coming. And it just happens in front of your eyes. You just can't believe it. I was ready to chuck my hat at the TV. I was livid. And then you go into it 20 minutes later, at 83 minutes, I believe. Aston Villa awarded a free kick 30 yards out from Newcastle's goal. Hurahan steps on after making the substitutes after the goal's gone in for Newcastle, not before, because we don't want to give Newcastle the opportunity to score more goals. You want to bring on subs beforehand so that you can refreshen the team and create a bit more energy into them. But no, we bring on not only the players after the goal's gone in, but we're bringing on defensive and more holding players. So we don't want to push on and get the goal. We want to sit back. But going on the free kick, Horahan whips it in and El Mohammedi's able to get it near post. A scrappy goal again, comes out of nothing, totally undeserved. We was able to get that there. And you're starting to think, we're able to get the equaliser. We might actually be able to get something out of the game. And then final 5 minutes, absolute. Although it was clutching at straws, squeaky bum time, you're trying to get forward. For me, the game just summarised in Hurahan's last free kick at the end. We get the opportunity to perhaps create something. You're thinking, well, I'm thinking at least, do not play it short. Do not play it short, because short corners and free kicks are absolutely woeful set pieces that Dean Smith's taught. What does he do? Doesn't beat the first man, able to boot it out, and that's the game there. You're just there like, oh, God's sakes. What was your make on that?
Oh, it's just typical, really. We get chances of that. I'm literally standing up, can't sit down, because when I think we are about to at least get a goal or try for a goal, I just can't seem to sit down probably. But after that, I just knew we weren't going to win it, even if we did get a goal. I think Newcastle should probably have won that game, because we were just crap again. Hurahan, he just didn't really do anything for me. I would have said to you a year ago, for a crossing or a corner, let Hurahan take it, because he's one of our best for it. But I don't know. I think things like that, I think we should just leave to Grealish.
Yeah, I think seeing that this morning, I saw a tweet saying that it's gotten to the point where Elmo's having to shout out, "That's why you should be starting me after scoring that goal." As Dean Smith lost the locker room. I wouldn't be surprised from watching that performance. It was honestly dreadful. Even before the goal, we were average, admittedly better than the previous two games, but still not great. You then go into the goal, absolutely sloppy defensive error, one of the worst I've seen in a very long time. And you're blaming Konza for it when it was the whole back line. And then Mings even being out of position just to mark one player that, one fullback can't do already. And then you're bringing on your substitutes straight after the goal's gone in. You're bringing on people like Nakamba. You're making straight swaps. So you're bringing off McGinn for Hurahan. You're bringing on Samata for Davis. No, was it Samata for Davis? It was.
I think it was El Ghazi.
It was El Ghazi for Davis. But you're only then changing the formation when the goal goes in. That's just called being stubborn. That's just called being blind and willing to, as we said with the Chelsea game, you're willing to stick with the same formation. You're willing to stick with the same pattern that got you the goal in the first place. You're thinking that's going to happen again. It's not. That's not how football works. Managers look at a game minute by minute, piece by piece. They analyse, okay, we've gotten the goal. Villa, they may come out more defensive now. They may sit back a lot more, soak up more pressure. They may even change their formation. Dean Smith, what he does is he just sticks with what he thinks works because that's all he believes, and we've said it, the attacking style that he's trying to implement is gone. We can't defend. We can't attack. Midfield lacks creativity, So it's like, what are you doing? What are you providing now? And then you're bringing on people like Nakamba. When you're trying to get a goal, you're trying to sit back. And that does not scream it. Even if it means bringing on someone like Lansbury, Vasilev or Jota, just put more people forward rather than back.
Yeah.
And then, I'm going to say it again. I'll probably say it every video now. But it's as simple as play the right formation next time. Play the right plays. So not House in bloody right back. Play El Mohammedi, especially after the game. You play him now, You get more out of Grealish and McGinn. You move them forward rather than telling them to play deep. As I said in our reaction yesterday, if Samata has to be the best player in both the defensive third, the midfield third, and the forward third, if he has to be the best player in those three sections of the team, that says to me that all our other players just clearly aren't good enough or up to the job. And so it's just a infuriating game to watch. But speaking of those players, we'll move on now to player ratings. So I'll let you start us off. Who have you got in goal?
Nyland.
What would you give to Nyland?
Oh. He looked a bit shaky, didn't he?
Yeah. I think every game's just gotten poorer and poorer. It's dropping the ball, lack control, lacking the catching ability. He's really starting to get worried. So for me, I'm going to give him a 5.
I hate to say like this about Nyland, but the last 3 of the games, maybe not as much for Sheffield United, but it seems like his confidence has just dropped. So I'm going to have to say 5 too.
Yeah, I think I don't really know what the solution is. I just can't. Maybe throw him Rayner now. Maybe do that.
I don't see. That's a hard one. If you're going to do that, would you start him on Wolves? Would you start him there?
No, I couldn't start him.
So I mean, I don't know who you'd start him with. Like maybe Liverpool.
Yeah.
Not too sure.
I think. Yeah, it's just one of those that Dean Smith will have to decide if he can decide at all. We now move on to the right fullback, House. I'm going to give him a 4. He didn't do too much. He didn't do too much wrong, but even still, for me, it screams for me now to bring on El Mohammedi. The time's up for House in that position. I think El Mohammedi now needs to come in.
I mean, if Elmo's getting a goal like that, he must have been like, his eyes must have been set on how we're going to get a goal. Because obviously he knows what is wrong with the team and where to play. So he knows where to be standing to get the goal in. And people like that, I want him on the squad. So yeah. I
Yeah.
think we should be starting him again.
Yeah.
He obviously has shown us, but
We'll move on to next centre house. I'm going to give him a 5. I think he didn't do too bad again. A bit quieter. Maybe not his best game out of the 3. But, he wasn't at fault for the goal. He could only do... Well, I wouldn't say that. He was out of position as well. But really, it comes down to what Mings did for me.
That's what I mean. I think Mings was more at fault, to be honest. I don't know why he's blaming Konza.
Yeah. We'll move on to that next centre half, then Mings. I'm going to give him a 3. I thought he was absolutely woeful.
He's having a crap game.
He's the reason that goal went in. Do not blame Konza. Because Konza's all the way on the right. It's not even his responsibility. He went through the centre.
Yeah.
If Mings has to go and trap to Gilbert, no, not to Gilbert, to Target, just to mark one player, you're leaving the free space there. And you're not, and because he's moved over, the whole, house has to move over, Konza has to move over. You're just leaving that free space. And therefore, he's, for me, the reason that goal went in. But regardless of that, performance-wise, he was poor. I just don't think he's up to it right now. And I think maybe now throw on Engels. What would you say?
I mean, I want Engels to play. The reason I haven't really been talking about him because I don't think he's able to play. Engels is actually one of our best, I'd say. I know what happened against Tottenham.
Yeah.
But everyone makes mistakes. So that was the only mistake he's made. So he definitely deserves that starting. But for changing him for Mings, is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we could try it. That's what I'm saying. We know we're what are you saying?
You got to try something now. Because after me, it screams it needs a change.
I'm saying, though, because we know we're not going to get anything against Liverpool. Let's just try something different. Put Reina in goal. Take Mings off. Do whatever. Let's see what else we can change.
Yeah.
But I hate seeing the same thing every game because I know what's going to happen. We're just going to lose or even draw.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next fullback, Matt Target. I'm going to give him a 2. Absolutely rubbish. The marking on St. Maximan all night. Admittedly, Maximan is a much quicker player. Target may not have the pace. But defensively, he's so poor. Most of the night, I just saw Target just try and shove people rather than actually put a foot in or actually show any, ingenious tactics from him. He's just poor, offered nothing to the team, and just looks really, really slow.
I even said to you, I'd put Taylor on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Taylor could actually do something, but he was actually on subs. Taylor.
Yeah.
So I would have definitely changed him because Target, he just looks so lost. He just did not do anything, nothing useful once again, and he's been one of the worst players to come back, in my opinion.
Yeah. We'll move on to the midfield now. Douglas Luiz, for me, man of the match, outstanding performance. I'm going to give him a 7. I think he's finally found his footing in the team, and that position's perfectly where he was. He was controlling the ball very nicely, able to get some good passes off. Admittedly, I think 1 or 2 fouls were going against him. Definitely should have been awarded some of them. But I think overall, he's really come into his element there. Move on to McGinn. I'm going to give him a 4. Really, really, it's quiet again. And I was here saying that McGinn's going to be the one player, that's going to probably save Aston Villa apart from Grealish. But he's been honestly dreadful.
I was expecting him for when he came back. He's been gone for 6 months, and that's how he comes back. God.
Yeah, I know. I get. You come back from injury, and then you've got the COVID-19, so there's a lot longer.
Yeah.
But it's taken 3 games now, and he's not performing. It's not the same McGinn that we know. He's not the £50 million John McGinn. So I think I'm actually going to go down to a 3 instead. I think that game just showed me how much poor he can be compared to how good he can be. Next up, we move on to, I'll say Grealish in the midfield. I still can't understand if it was Trezeguet or him on the left. But I'm going to go a 3 for Grealish. I think, we all know Grealish is good with holding the ball. That's why he would work so much better in the England team than a lot of the players we have right now. He can hold the ball and therefore drive it through the midfield, get it out to our wider players and help create some creativity. But I think last night, everything just felt so frustrating with him. He's holding it too long.
Yeah.
He's releasing the ball too late or too early and the passes just aren't coming off. And it's just been, you agree with me when I say I was screaming at the TV just to release the ball a little bit quicker. And, it's just infuriating. What do you think?
No, do you know when I was talking to you, people were like, oh, a 1-1, that ain't too bad.
Yeah.
Grealish, him at the end, him on the floor like that, that's telling you something we should have actually got 3 points. But he's just really bad again. When he holds the ball like that, especially when we've got 3 minutes left, we're just pass it quick. And he's just not doing it.
Yeah.
Really
he's just moving too slow. He's forcing the tempo of the team to be a much slower pace. And therefore that's why in those last 5 minutes, you just scream at the TV because he's not moving the ball forward, something that he's meant to be capable of. So a 3 from me. Move on to the left in the wider players. We've got Trezeguet. I thought he was all right. Again, quiet. I'd say 4.
I didn't think he made much of an impact.
It didn't make any impact at all. I definitely somehow, even though if El Ghazi's been rubbish, I'll say Trezeguet to come on as a sub to make more impact. Even starting, it doesn't work. And I think it showed in that game. There's not really much to say about him because he was so quiet and not having his moments. So you just don't know what to go on about.
It's not the same with Trezeguet as the start of the season. Definitely not. It's just got worse. I think his best at season was, I don't know who he scored against. I think it was Liverpool.
Yeah.
When we were lost 2-1. But
usually he's only there for those type of goals. He did it with Liverpool. He did it with Leicester. He done it with Wolves.
Yeah,
that's
only
the
what
really
we got to
goals.
talk about.
Yeah.
He gets us the goals we actually really need. But as far as last night's game and coming back, he hasn't really done much.
Move on to the next wider player, El Ghazi. 4. Too quiet. No impact. Yeah, no impact again. No change in him. Bring on Jota now. I don't understand what Jota has to do to get the start now.
I think Jota will really give a huge impact on the team. Or we did see against Chelsea.
Yeah.
As soon as he got on, 10 seconds on, he got his goal. But kill anyone. I thought he was going to come on last night. I think he should have, but start him. Why can't he just start? Yeah.
And then we move on to our forward in Samatta. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought, it's as I've said multiple times, if he has to be doing a better effort in defence, midfield and attack than the rest of the 10 players do, that really shows something. And I think Samatta, out of a lot of those players, can say he had the fight and desire to want to keep us up in the league. Because, when you're coming in at a team that's on the brink of relegation, you want to do the best you can, and even if you are considering then the move away, you can at least get the best possible transfer you can.
I'm just saying, I was saying to you, that's not the only player I'm seeing really helping, really wanting the ball and just really wanting that goal is Samatta.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. That was one of the best games I've seen from him, to be honest. I know he hasn't really had much of an impact on any of the games yet, except for Man City when we lost 2-1, I believe, at Wembley. But when our team's crap like that, he was really good. And I was saying to you, he's too good for this team when we like this. He's just too good for it.
Yeah. I think someone was saying Samatta's like a B-Tech Wesley. Don't agree with that.
Other way around.
Samatta's been much better, even though he hasn't scored as many goals. Much better performance all around. Let's move on to the subs. Who were the subs that came on?
So it was Elmo, Hurahan, Davis, and Nakamba.
Okay, Elmo. I'd say a
7.
5.
I'm only saying 7 because of that goal, and
Yeah,
he
but
had some desire.
I think overall the goal doesn't really paper over the cracks for me.
No,
Even before
it
the
was
goal, it
scrappy.
wasn't really doing anything for us. Hurahan 2. He's
Yeah,
god
too. Scrappy.
god awful. It shows that when a player is not Premier League quality, shouldn't be in the team, and that to me was Hurahan showing it. You know, you may have a good left foot, but even then, it's not a great left foot, and it showed yet again. It is poor when you take a free kick, beat the first man. You don't. It shouldn't. It should go there. And even when he was making deliveries in, there were either too deep or just completely miss our players. So really poor.
Yeah.
I think his time's coming up. Unless we go down to the championship, we'll probably stay.
Yeah.
We then have Nakamba. I'd say 4.
Quiet.
No
Thought he
impact.
was quite quiet.
Too quiet.
Yeah. 4.
And then Davis. Was it Davis that came on?
Yeah, Davis. 5 maybe.
4. It's same again.
I saw
No impact. Too quiet. And for me, wrong player really. I'd have brought on Vasilov.
So like going on to Wolves. How would you start it? Like, would you start Samatta and Davis, or would you like?
Right. Well, it's as simple as you don't need me to say. Just look at the social pages. 3, 5, 2. For God's sake, stop playing the wingers. You know, if you want to play your fullbacks, play them up forward more. Play the 3 centre halves because you're already playing them up as it is. Make sure Grealish and McGinn are more attacking, more pressured. Yeah. And then actually play 2 strikers instead of 1 and giving the other striker more chance of scoring, you know, because 4-3-3 doesn't work. He's a rubbish. If anything, Dean Smith's made it rubbish now. For being his favourite formation, he's made it absolutely garbage.
It doesn't work anymore, to be honest. But,
no.
The thing I do want to say is, do you start Samatta and Davis, or I was saying to you, do you start Samatta and Borgia, and when Borgia's like getting tired or something, or Samatta, bring Davis on, so at least you got someone good on the bench, bring it front?
No, that's not Borgia. Borgia's role is literally a backup.
That's what I mean. Like,
it shows
to the end of it.
Yeah, it shows in how late he was signed. You know, we have Davis and Samatta. Just go with them, and even then, you can play Vasilov in that position. You know, Baston's just useless. He's not going to get another opportunity. So why is he here?
Them too, Vasilov.
Yeah, but as I say, we'll go on to Wolves next. They managed to get a good result for us, at least, beating Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I think it was 1-0. As I said, we go on to Wolves. Yeah, for me, unwinnable game. I don't see it happening. They're too good in form. They've just been an amazing team season. Adama Traore scares me. Raul Jimenez scares me. Ruben Neves scares me. I just don't think we're going to get anything out of that game. What do you think?
Back in the day, we were competing with Wolves. I think our last game against them was 2-1 defeat.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, if we do have a change in formation, or Dean doesn't do this 4-3-3 again, there is a chance for a 1-1 maybe, like a draw maybe, but it's a hard one. Like, it's probably like 30% that we'll get a draw, 70% that they'll annihilate us.
Yeah.
Would you like to say?
We're not confident. The final thing I just want to touch on, as we're recording this today, there were reports floating around that Sean Dyche may be leaving Burnley at the end of the season amid conflict with the chairman. Now, for me, this is worth talking about because obviously, as we've said before, you know, Smith hasn't been in great form. If anything, he's been rubbish for me personally, I think the time is up with him either way. I think before the news broke, if we would go down the championship, I'd say stick with him because I don't really see who else to bring in. However, if this is going to happen at the end of the season, that Sean Dyche will leave, I think regardless of whatever we are, Premier League or Championship, I think Sean Dyche needs to come in, and I think Dean Smith needs to go. You know, it's as simple as he's been poor this season. You know, forget about the player that you are. Forget about where we are, the experience you have in the Championship. If this was any other manager, they would have been sacked ages ago. Dean Smith's had his chances. There's been times he should have gone already. And I think really this is the time now to say enough's enough. It's not working. John Terry's not helping defensively. He can go to Chelsea next season. Richard O'Kelly, I don't understand what he brings to the team. Dean Smith, everything about him seems to have just gone. And I think someone like Sean Dyche, as I've said before, can really help benefit this team. He understands.
I don't know.
You're not?
I don't know. It's him. I just don't think he fits us.
You've got to think about his team finishing in the Europa League spot not long ago.
Yeah.
He's worked with a team on a far smaller budget, similar to Villa. He plays in the way that Aston Villa should be playing. You know, and I don't understand what about him wouldn't be beneficial to this team. You know, he's got experience coming up from the Championship because he's stuck with Burnley for so long. You know, so
exactly like he does suit Burnley, but
yeah,
I don't know. I can't really see him being our manager. Like, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be a good manager. I know he'd probably keep us up for a long time, but I don't know. It just doesn't really fit for me.
Yeah, I think it needs to happen.
If he had to come to Sweden, why not? But
I think that's the choice. Then, if he's not coming in, who else comes in? Because as I said, it depends on positioning. And from our form, it looks like Championship. So we won't have Bielsa. You can argue Sam Allardyce. That's not going to happen. But we'll probably end up with some rubbish Championship manager or someone like Sean Dyche who can keep us up or promote us. So I think that's an option the board need to make, and I will be very disappointed if that's not a decision that is taken, considering what happens in these next few games. It feels like a Wenger situation when he was in charge and fans were clamouring for him to be out. This is what it feels like. You know, we know he's not good enough. We know the experience it was needed. And so I really do think, regardless of what happens this season, if Sean Dyche does leave Burnley, we need the change.
Who else would he go to, though?
Don't know.
If he did,
probably do a Rafa Benitez and go to China or somewhere. He probably won't go to China. I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know. I think we're going to wrap it up there for our review on this game. If you did enjoy this video, obviously, as said, just like the video, subscribe, give us that post.
Yeah, actually,
notification.
The last video you said get 10 likes.
If this video or any video, as we've said, gets 10 likes, we will put out the best video possible on what has gone wrong with Aston Villa this season. We will take our time. We will take multiple cuts. We will take as long as it takes, but we will give you the perfect video. So obviously, all you've got to do, you've got to get us to 10 likes and we'll do that. Check out our social pages, obviously. Check out Fatal Grips. But without further ado, that's been me. He's been Nathan. And up the Villa with the pride of Villa. We'll see you later, boys.